Wow, it really feels like the world's just accelerating, doesn't it?
It really does. The pace is something else.
The sheer speed of change, it's something we're all trying to grapple with, I think.
Absolutely.
This 21st century, it's not just fast, it feels like it's constantly demanding that we stay, incredibly agile.
Adaptable, yeah. And informed?
Yes, adaptable, informed, all of it. You look at the rise of AI, these huge global shifts, totally new wells of working.
Mhm.
It honestly feels like the rules are being rewritten, like right now as we speak.
And that velocity, that's exactly what our source material for this deep dive tackles. It's called Navigating a World in Flux, Staying Ahead of Change.
Okay.
And our mission here isn't just to list off all these changes. We want to help you, the listener, go beyond just watching it happen.
Right.
We want to help you really understand what's going on, anticipate what might come next, and then, crucially, how to respond effectively.
Makes sense.
Because the source argues pretty powerfully, actually, that the winners in this new era, they won't just be the strongest or, the smartest.
Uh-huh.
They'll be the ones who can handle complexity, learn really, really fast, and then act decisively, boldly even.
So for you listening, this deep dive is basically your shortcut, your way to grasp what's really shifting the ground beneath our feet.
Exactly.
We're going to walk through the biggest transformations happening right now: technology, geopolitics, climate, work, society.
Oh, well, big ones.
Yeah, all designed to give you that edge, help you stay informed, and hopefully stay ahead of the curve.
Let's do it.
Okay, so let's start with that big picture view. A world in flux. The source really hammers home this unprecedented rate of transformation. What exactly is driving all this speed?
Well, the source points to a few key forces that are kind of converging.
Okay.
You've got incredibly rapid technological advancement, obviously, then major geopolitical shifts, big economic disruptions, and this constant social evolution happening alongside it all, like a perfect storm of change.
And why does that matter so much to, say, the individual listener or a business?
Because it demands action. It's not theoretical. It means individuals, companies, even governments have to become more agile, more adaptable,
You have to keep learning.
constantly,
Okay.
and stay informed. The goal, like the source says, isn't just to notice changes happening. It's to understand why, see where it might be going, and then respond strategically, not just react.
Okay, let's dig into technology then. The source calls it a double-edged sword, which sounds about right.
It really is.
The speed is just mind-blowing. We're talking AI, quantum computing, blockchain, robotics, biotech, all seriously reshaping industries.
And jobs, and even how we relate to each other.
Yeah, take AI. It's not just like writing code or making images anymore.
No, not at all.
It's analyzing these massive data sets, finding patterns humans could never spot, sometimes confidently, sometimes maybe not so accurately.
Right, the confidence doesn't always match the correctness, which is a whole other issue.
Yeah.
But the economic potential is staggering.
How staggering.
Well, there's a 2024 McKinsey report mentioned. It suggests AI could add something like $4.4 trillion
Right.
annually to the global economy.
Wow. Okay, that's huge.
It is. But that power obviously brings disruption. Think about professions like truck driving, basic coding.
Mm.
They're being transformed, or maybe even replaced in some cases.
So what's the takeaway? Fear AI.
No, the source argues the opposite. It's not about fearing it. It's about learning how to work with it.
Like prompt engineering, understanding its output.
Exactly. That becomes a critical skill. Digital literacy, adaptability, constantly upskilling. These aren't just nice-to-haves anymore. They're survival tools.
And it's not just AI, right? You
Right.
mentioned quantum computing.
Right. Quantum isn't just faster computers. It's a whole different way of computing that could break current encryption, revolutionize material science. These are foundational shifts, not just tweaks.
Okay, so from tech, let's pivot to the world stage. Geopolitics. The source talks about a big shift happening there too.
A fundamental one, yeah. Moving away from a world largely dominated by the U.S., a unipolar world, towards something much more multipolar, more centers of power, more influence spread around.
And the U.S.-China rivalry is central to that.
It's a huge piece of it, definitely. It affects everything, global supply chains, cybersecurity, even the race to space. It casts a long shadow.
But it's not just the U.S. and China.
No, not at all. And the source is clear on this. You're seeing the regions like Africa, Southeast Asia, Latin America becoming much more assertive, much more important players on the global stage.
Okay.
Think about recent events. Russia's invasion of Ukraine, for example. That didn't just redefine alliances in Europe and strengthen NATO.
Right.
It also highlighted how the global South, These developing nations are finding a stronger collective voice. Countries like India, Turkey, Brazil, they're acting as key negotiators, playing significant roles.
So if you're a business or even an individual trying to navigate this,
Yeah.
what's the advice?
Develop what the source calls geopolitical intelligence.
Hmm.
Understand these shifts.
Yeah.
Hedge your risks. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, essentially. Diversify partnerships. It's a more complex world to navigate.
Definitely feels that way. Okay, next up, the climate crisis. This doesn't feel like a future problem anymore, does it?
No, it feels very present, very immediate.
You see the wildfires in Canada and Greece, record heat across Asia. The 2023 IPCC report basically confirmed it's an emergency. So where does the source say we need to focus? What demands action now?
Well, it draws an interesting contrast. On one hand, you have government action on emissions, which often feels, well, slow.
Painfully slow sometimes.
Yeah. But on the other hand, the source highlights this explosion in climate tech. Renewable energy, sustainable agriculture, there's huge innovation and investment happening there.
So it's not all doom and gloom.
Not entirely. The key insight here is that sustainability isn't just an environmental nice-to-have anymore. It's framed as a strategic imperative.
A duty, even.
Exactly. A duty, but also a source of competitive advantage. Future-proofing, whether you're an individual or a company, means thinking green, acting responsibly, and investing in resilience. It's becoming intertwined with basic economic sense.
Okay, let's shift gears again. Work and education. The whole idea of work feels like it's being rewritten.
Completely rewritten.
The pandemic just smashed the old 9-to-5 office model for so many people. Hybrid, remote. That's kind of the norm now, or at least a major option.
And look at the gig economy. Freelancing isn't niche anymore. It's mainstream. It's changing how people think about careers, about security.
And education is changing just as fast.
Oh, absolutely. The source points out how traditional universities are facing real competition. You've got online platforms, Coursera, EDX, even YouTube making knowledge accessible in totally new ways.
So it's less about the 4-year degree sometimes.
Increasingly, yes. What's gaining huge value are these things called micro-credentials, specific skills certificates. Learning that's targeted, skill-based, and something you can pick up quickly.
So for someone starting out or maybe needing to pivot.
The advice is changing. It's less about deep specialization in one thing forever and more about adaptability. Lifelong learning isn't a buzzword. It's essential.
Digital skills, obviously.
Digital skills are table stakes, yes. But the source also stresses emotional intelligence, working with AI, collaborating, and just that mental agility, being ready to reskill every few years. That's what'll make the difference.
Then there's social change. Feels like social movements have more power, more voice than ever.
They definitely do. Climate activists, gender rights advocates,
Yeah.
their voices are amplified.
And social media is central to that, right? The source calls it both a weapon and a battleground.
That's a good way to put it. It's incredibly powerful for organizing, for mobilizing people, but it's also where narratives clash, where misinformation can spread like wildfire.
And younger generations are driving a lot of this.
Hugely. The source specifically talks about generations Z and Alpha as essentially social disruptors. They're not just digital natives. Their values are really centered on inclusion, ethics, purpose.
What does that mean for, say, brands or leaders?
It means you can't think it. If you don't genuinely align with those values, if you don't demonstrate real commitment, you risk losing relevance fast.
So you have to listen.
You have to listen, engage authentically, and actually evolve with your audience, not just talk at them. The future belongs to those who can do that.
Okay, let's circle back to AI for a second. We talked about jobs, but the source also highlights its growing role in decision-making.
Yeah, this is a big one. It's moving beyond tasks to actually guiding choices in really critical areas.
Like what?
Healthcare diagnosing diseases, finance writing investment strategies, even things like national defense or predicting potential criminal behavior, and maybe even filtering who we meet or date.
Wow. Okay, that raises some serious questions.
Huge ethical questions. Are we really comfortable letting algorithms make decisions that could change someone's life?
And who's responsible if the algorithm gets it wrong, especially if it learned from biased data?
Exactly. That's the core dilemma. The source stresses we urgently need strong ethical frameworks. We need transparency. How are these algorithms making decisions? And we absolutely need human oversight. Technology has to serve humanity, not the other way around. And we need accountability.
Which ties into the next point, maybe. Information overload.
Oh, definitely.
It feels like we're drowning in data, but starving for clarity, as the source puts it.
That's a perfect description. We're bombarded.
Misinformation, deep fakes that look incredibly real, propaganda, social media echo chambers. It's hard to know what's true.
It really is. And that's why the ability to critically analyze information, to verify it, to synthesize it, that's perhaps the most crucial skill now.
So it's not just about consuming information anymore.
No, it's about discernment, cutting through the noise, the advice. Actively invest in your media literacy. Question things, be skeptical in a healthy way, and build your own trusted filter of diverse sources. Don't rely on the algorithm to do it for you.
Okay. Let's touch on health. The pandemic, COVID-19. The source calls it a global stress test.
Which it absolutely was. It showed where our systems were fragile, didn't it?
Yeah, definitely. But it also pushed innovation, right? Vaccines developed at record speed, telehealth became mainstream.
And a much bigger focus on mental wellness, which was long overdue.
So looking forward, what are the challenges and opportunities in health?
Well, the challenges are real. The potential for future pandemics is there. We're seeing record levels of mental health issues globally. Healthcare systems are still under enormous strain in many places.
But there are breakthroughs, too.
Absolutely. Amazing stuff happening in genomics. Telemedicine keeps improving. Wearable tech is getting more sophisticated. It's all empowering people to manage their health more proactively.
So the advice is to take ownership.
Take proactive ownership.
Yeah.
Physical health, mental health, and even your digital health, understanding your health data, using the tools available. It's about being proactive.
All right, final big area. The global economy. Uncertainty seems to be the only certainty there.
That feels about right. It's become incredibly unpredictable.
We've seen wild inflation spikes, crypto markets crashing, supply chains getting snarled up by wars, trade disputes, climate events.
It's one thing after another.
Yeah.
And central banks are in a really tough spot.
How so?
They're trying to fight inflation without tanking the economy or causing mass unemployment. It's a delicate balancing act, managing inflation versus stagnation.
So for individuals, for businesses trying to navigate this economic uncertainty.
Financial literacy is key. Understanding what's happening. Diversification in investments and strategies is crucial. And maybe most importantly, a willingness to pivot, to adapt quickly.
Because the old ways might not work anymore.
Exactly. The source puts it bluntly. This is not the time to cling to old models. It's the time to build new ones. Be flexible.
So we've covered a lot of ground here. Technology, geopolitics, climate, work, society, AI's role, information, health, the economy. Wow.
It's a lot. A world in flux indeed.
So if you had to boil it all down, what's the main takeaway, the single thread connecting all this?
I think the source is really clear on this. It comes back to one word. Adaptability.
Adaptability.
Yeah. It's not about knowing everything that's impossible now. It's about being ready to learn anything, being flexible, being resilient.
That makes sense.
And the source concludes with a thought that really sticks with you. The future rewards, not the strongest, not even the smartest necessarily, but the most adaptable.
So the message to you, our listener, is...
Be curious. Stay curious. Be bold when you need to be. And just be ready. Ready for what's next.
Because the final thought the source leaves us with is pretty stark, isn't it?
It is.
Stay ahead or risk being left behind. Something for all of us to really think about. How can you apply these ideas starting today?